On my iPod is a really eclectic mix. Sharon Jones and the Dap Kings, Johnny Cash, the Rolling Stones, Beethoven, and of course a favorite right now to sing along to is Glee.
It's very eclectic, everything from the Beatles and the Rolling Stones to Pachelbel Canon and the Hallelujah Chorus.
Like Brother Ali and Atmosphere, and REM, and Green Day, which of course has a good Minnesota connection as well.
Well, I started in Governor Perpich's office back in 1977, 1978, and it was responsible for the funding for the State Board for the Arts. And as a United States Senator, I was strongly supported the National Endowment for the Arts, National Endowment for the Humanities. I opposed the attempts of the right-wing ideologues to put inappropriate restrictions on that funding and limit artistic expression.
Well, I'm really proud that I worked real closely with Senator Dick Cohen, who's probably the foremost advocate for the arts in Minnesota. In my 12 years in the State House, worked closely with him, so we're supporting arts groups. But amongst the things, I helped to get $1 million for the MIA and the Walkers so they could digitize their collections, so they could be put out on the web and be made available to educators and everyone with a lot of educational content. And that was a real specific and important initiative that we did.
I have been a champion of the arts since I first entered the legislature. From my very first term in the legislature, I actually led the override of Governor Jesse Ventura on the new Guthrie Theater. I've always been an arts champion, both carrying major arts bonding projects, like this year the successful project for the Minnesota Orchestra. I've carried the Walker Art Project, probably the #1 and most important thing in the United States, which was the Legacy Amendment, which I really helped champion and guide through. I'd been an early supporter, and when we built that coalition of people who cared about clean water, hunting and fishing, arts, culture, and history, we made a winning deal. I'm very proud of that work on the Legacy Amendment.
Yeah, we need to make sure that we have that 50% allocation of funds. Communities that don't have arts are communities that are not going to survive. And so it is very, very important to me to make sure that in rural Minnesota and in the metro area that we have an even distribution of funds, and that's why we have our State's Art Board and then the Regional Arts Boards.
I think it's very important to have geographic balance in the money that is going to the regional arts councils and to artists and art groups across the state. I have to say that I'm a little hesitant to take a pledge of a certain amount. Last year, I think we got to 42%. I'm willing to keep working with the community on this issue, but I'm hesitant to commit to a certain percentage today.
Yes, I do. You know, this was a constitutional amendment passed by the people of Minnesota. The people of Minnesota voted to raise their own sales tax in order to support these programs. And with all due respect to the legislature, this is not the legislature's money, this is the people's money. The State Arts Board as well as the regional arts councils are crucial to assuring that the money does go all over the state. It's done a remarkable job over the last couple of decades. It should be supported, it should be continued, and frankly the legislature should keep its hands off of the people's money.
You know, keeping the commitment to the Legacy Amendment, the implementation of that is going to be very important to me as governor, that we're not supplanting funding that should be going to the arts and other places with the legacy dollars, that we're adding on to it, and that we continue our capital commitment to great arts projects all across the state.
I'm running with Robin Robinson, who of course is a leader in the arts. And in my administration, Robin Robinson will be the Arts and Cultural Ambassador. We have put forward an aggressive arts agenda. We're going to create a Minnesota Partnership for the Arts to raise additional private sector money and then to work in cooperation with the State Arts Board to make sure we're helping the 19,000 artists that are around the state of Minnesota to promote art. We're going to bring art into the governor's mansion and have performances of local artists.
Well, you know, there's a saying that we build upon the shoulders of those who preceded us, and those who have preceded the next governor have made a phenomenal contribution to our state by passing the Legacy Amendment, and I'd like to build on that. Arts education, projects that involve people and give people exposure to the arts in all of their different forms is really crucial.